My bad. I went to go click the go live button and I hit the cancel button and I thought I erased you guys and I would have to start again. My bad. I found it though. Hello and welcome. Okay, here we go. There are people here. Sheldon's here. Megan's here. King B's here. BJ's here. Ken Jones is here. Yeah. All right. We're set. We're rocking. We're in a different place tonight. Because I couldn't have you guys sitting on the Lily's here. I couldn't have you guys sitting on the workbench because I got some walnut panels down here on the workbench that we're gonna put some finish on in a little bit. That's gonna be fun. The lighting is terrible over here though. Here, let's go over here. Maybe. Then I need a chair. Oh, this is terrible. Let's put you on the bench. You can sit on the wall panels for now. I'll go get my chair. I'm a super professional YouTube live person. Yeah, as you know. As you'll know if you've been here for any length of time. And I need to find my beer. Where'd I put it? Okay. Come on. Oh, broken chair. Got people here. Making a fool out of yourself. Do I know the difference between in-laws and outlaws? This sounds like the beginning of a joke. Is it the beginning of a joke? Just do the punchline now. I mean, sorry, what's the difference between in-laws and outlaws? That's why I watch, because I'm super professional. Yes, I finally made it, Tony. I finally made it. Oh, you finally made it, maybe you're talking about. You've been before. Oh, I'm having a day again, I gotta say. Yes, I did. Oh, man. An hour? Wait, Megan thinks the punchline is maybe an hour? Or maybe, I don't know what we're talking about. Oh. So I got one side of these panels finished earlier today. Some of you might have seen that over on Facebook or Instagram earlier today. But I was also working today, so I did that in between work things. And I had to do it with enough time that I could flip them so we could do the good side tonight. The difference is outlaws are wanted. Hey-o. Funny stuff. Yeah, so I was working today. Got about an hour to whip home. Put a coat of finish on the underside of these panels. Went back to work. Got home. Was starting to get set up for the show. And then wife needed to borrow some things because she's putting up shelves of some kind upstairs, and I had to get her a drill and a driver and bits and show her which one is for the pilot hole for the drywall anchors. And yeah. Video's frozen. Okay, just you. Sheldon. You guys are jerks most of the time. I get to be a jerk a little bit sometimes. Because it's usually you guys. It's all in good jerk. It's fun jerkiness. I don't want to keep going with that thought. I've decided to shut that down. Does she have a channel? No, she does not have a channel. She's making it up as she goes. She's seen me install enough things that she's perfectly capable of putting some drywall anchors in the wall and hanging some things. How's everybody else doing? I'm having a day, but how's everybody else's week? Just got in at the end of the jerk conversation. Oh, everybody else having a decent week? I had a pretty good overall week. I got finish sanding and shaping done on the entire table. Tonight we're going to finish the top, put the flood coat on the top side of the panels. It's been a week full of days. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of those weeks these days. We're going to get the flood coat done on the top of the panels. so we can watch these things come alive, you and me. And then over the next couple of days, I will keep putting coats on these things because I need to get the panels totally finished, because in order to do the final glue up of the base, the bottom panel actually needs to be in the base. So I want to get the panels finished before I can. And then I'll probably do one finish coat on the base, get the panel inside, do the final glue up and assembly, and then do another couple of coats of finish. Did you break your CNC? Oh no, broke your CNC. You break it using my logo? That's the question. Geez, I hope that you didn't spend a bunch of money on a CNC and only try to do my logo for a month and it broke. Because you should have been doing different fun things, practicing with that rather than just like just getting ready to start it. Oh, did you like knock it off the table or something? It's got to be warranty. You've had it like a month. You got to be able to send that back. I hope you can send it back. Uh-oh. Put a new bit in it, and when I turned it on, ... That doesn't sound promising. Z-axis no worky. Yeah, you got to send that thing back, dude. That sucks, but you can't put only that much time onto a machine and just be okay with it breaking. Yeah, that's got to go back. Chatting with someone who may be able to help. I don't know. I think you got to get at least a replacement unit, because trying to fix something that's only a month old that's a bad sign. That even if you get that thing fixed, what's the next thing? I would be asking for a replacement unit for that. Even if it like a cheap CNC is still a couple monies, you know, like you can't just be throwing money away. Yeah, I agree with Megan. That is sucky. That is absolutely sucky. But I'll call chat with tech support on Monday. Okay, well, let us know how it goes. We'll look for an update next Saturday night. You can give us an update on your CNC situation. And for tonight, it'll make you feel better to watch these gorgeous walnut panels come alive. I guarantee you that. Because every time you put the first coat of finish on walnut, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It always doesn't matter how many times I do it. Every time I put the first coat of finish on walnut and I watch it glow, light up, it's just it surprises me, even though I know what's going to happen as soon as I do it. East Coast Explosion Monday. I'm not sure I know what that means. Did something else explode on the East Coast or just the CNC? You know what else exploded over the last couple of days? This Bernie Sanders in the chair thing. I don't know that anything like it went from hilarious to like overdone and boring and annoying like within hours. It was like I don't think I've ever seen something. Maybe the blonde woman and the cat thing, that got annoying real fast too, but I don't remember it getting annoying as fast as Bernie Sanders did. And I like Bernie Sanders. Oh, Sheldon's mind when he talks to tech support is the other explosion. Yeah, probably. Man, even a cheap CNC should, like, you can't have done anything to it. Like, it's, I don't know. Oh, so what are we doing tonight? We're talking finishing. I got a couple of questions loaded up in advance. I'm not a finishing expert. Let's get that out of the way. I am in no way some kind of finishing expert, but I'm happy to talk about what I do and what works for me. And we'll get some finish on these walnut panels. And if anybody else has any questions about finishing that they would like help with, I can give personal advice, but it's not coming from a place of like, I have used all of the finishes and know exactly how they operate. Because I am of the opinion that you use finishes until you find the one that you like that works, that gives you the result that you like, and then you just stay with that, depending on the result that you're looking for. We'll talk about that. My decision matrix for what finish I use when. Yeah, see, I absolutely agree that with BJ, just return that machine. If you want to try another one. Maybe you just got a dud, but a month in, that would be going back. And if they'll replace it with a fresh machine, that's fine. If they want to reimburse you, that's fine too. Just, I think you got to move on from that one. All right, let me get my questions. I left them over there because I thought I was going to be talking to you from over there. Part of my day was trying to get everything set up to be over there. Bought some General Finishes wood turning finish today. Hope it's good. I don't know that I've tried General Finishes wood turning finishes, but yeah, General Finishes makes good product for sure. So I can't imagine it being terrible. I don't think I've ever used a General Finishes product that I was like, oh, I'm never using this again. I just don't have as much access to it. I don't think any of the stores around here, maybe one of the stores around here carries it, but I'm pretty settled in on what I like. Oh, there's some CNC troubleshooting discussion happening. That's cool. I'm going to try to ignore that because I'm not going to be of any help. I'm going to be the, like, just send it back guy. You can find some other people to help you troubleshoot it, but I'm a send it back. Okay, questions on finishing. Okay, the first question that came in from finishing was from my boy Marv, and he asked it facetiously, but there's some truth in it as well. His question is, do you prefer those that are just poisonous or those that are flammable, explosive, and poisonous? If Darth Vader was here, he may find my lacquer faith in the safety of these products disturbing. That's clever, Marv. And he was being facetious with the question, but this is something that you really need to think about when you're finishing, is that these are toxic chemicals most of the time. Like the Howard's Feed and Wax, sure, it's orange oil, beeswax, carnauba wax. Like, it's not poisonous. Once you start adding solvents and thinners, if the can has safety labels on it, you need to be taking precautions with these things. Tonight I'm not going to, because it's cold out and I can't keep the heat in the shop high enough for finish to cure if the door's open. But normally I finish with the door open and the fan on, and I'm not great with respirator lung protection, as you know, if you watch this show, but like, I stay downwind from this stuff and I make sure I've got some cross breeze and things, which is why we're going to finish these panels at the end of the show tonight so that I can get out of here. Because yeah, there's a reason that there's a skull and crossbones on the finish. It's bad for you. And it's bad in the air, not just like you don't want to drink it. Like, what are they? VOCs, volatile organic compounds. It's bad for you. So be safe when you're using this stuff. My wife then followed up with what causes the pirates to converge on the area where you are finishing wood, which comes down to that first question from Marv, because when I was buying finish one time at the store, my kid was with me, and he says like, "Oh, what is it? What's with the skull and crossbones on the can there, Dad?" And the first thing that came to mind was that, oh, well, that's telling you that when you use this stuff, you need to get out of there because the pirates are coming. And that was my way of telling him that, like, you don't want to be around when I'm using this stuff. Like, I don't want you anywhere in the vicinity of me using this stuff. So it was a playful, sort of sarcastic way of getting it across. But now every time I'm finishing out here and I go inside, and if I've been finishing, I go inside and I say, okay, so everybody knows there's pirates in the garage. And that's their signal not to go in the garage because it's poisonous. But I call it pirates. You know what, everybody done talking, or did my feed die, or what's happening here? I don't trust the fact that nobody's talking. I'm worried that I'm talking to myself. If I'm not talking to myself, somebody tell me that, because this is a little bit bothersome. I don't like this. Oh. Rapt attention. Okay, I was listening. Okay, good. God, you guys scared me, because I have heard stories. About, actually, Matt Cremona has a story about him doing a live stream and talking for like 10 minutes and not noticing that he wasn't actually and having to restart the stream and stuff. Yeah, pirates are cool. That's true. But you don't, if they're looting booty, you don't want to be going where they're looting booty, because they got swords and rapiers and stuff. So if the pirates are in the garage, you don't want to go there. So that just threw me off my roll. I was on a roll, and the whole like nobody talking messed me up. You guys can't do that to me, man. Megan passed along a message from Ken. Polly smells so good. Yeah. Yeah, Polly smells fantastic. I don't hate it, but I don't want it in my lungs. Ken wants to know, does your wife beat your beard with a broom handle before you head to work to get all the shavings and sawdust out? Or what is her weapon of choice? I beat my own beard with my own broom, thank you very much. I'm an independent, powerful, rugged man. No, the only impact wife has on the beard is that she keeps buying me various products that she thinks that I'll try in my beard, like various oils and balms and things, in case I want to put them in my beard, which I don't. So I'm gathering up a collection of various oils and balms and things, thanks to wife. It's about all she has the impact on the beard. It's like a hypothetical, fictional future impact. An actual finishing question from Megan, though. As per that lineup pictured, my lineup of finishes that I put to ask questions. When would you choose each product, and for what application or circumstance would determine which one you used? So that's, I should try the beard oils and balms as finishes. That's a good idea. Maybe on a small thing. The general, I think the general question, as I'm not going to go through each of the finishes and say when and why I would use them. I will talk about my decision-making matrix for deciding on a finish after I get another beer. Because I think that's a good thing to discuss. And I think that's the gist of her question is when do you use what kind of finish and how do you decide? So personally, I basically have two paths in my decision matrix when it comes to finishing. The first fork in the road is, do I want to build a film on top of the wood or not? So when I'm finishing the wood, do I want there to be layers of essentially plastic on top of the wood after I'm done finishing? And if I take that road, I have to know that that's going to be a pain in the you know what if I ever have to refinish that thing. But it will take way longer for me to have to refinish that thing. That's the first prong in the decision making. Do I want it to be a long time until I have to refinish that, but then have it be a pain in the ass when I have to finish it? Or do I want to have to refinish it sooner and more often, but have it be easier? Yeah. So normally, for inside fine furniture, heavy use items, kitchen table, coffee table, this table that I'm making right now, cabinet, like wall hanging cabinets that are going to get a lot of use, I'm going to choose a film finish generally because I might never have to repair the finish. But if I do, it's going to be a pain in the ass. But if I use a non-film forming finish, I know that it could be a yearly thing, but it's going to be easy to do. But I'm still going to not want to do it. So my coffee table, my kitchen table, this coffee table that's going into an office setting, that's all getting a pretty decent film finish. This one's not going to be quite as heavy of a film. Pinnell's here as the one that's as my dining room table, for example. But I'm going to do probably 5 coats of Danish oil on this. And Danish oil is in a wonderful place. What a wonderful place in terms of how it works. It seeps into the wood and brings a luster and a chatoyance to the wood that you really like, that like you would get from like a pure oil finish. But it has some resin stuff in it, so it will build a film. It just builds it kind of slowly. Pinnell fell asleep. Sorry about that. I'm super boring. Because nothing's going to explode. He's not on the edge of his seat waiting for something to explode on the lathe. So once I've made the decision to go with a film forming finish, there's various stages of that. I will tend to go with a Danish oil or a tung oil, which is mostly oil with some resin, as opposed to like a thick polyurethane that looks like plastic on top of the wood. But it kind of depends. I do use wipe-on poly. If I buy full-strength polyurethane, I dilute it to make it a wipe-on polyurethane because I just like how it lays down better and it soaks into the wood a little bit better. But polyurethane builds up. So in this list, I would say it'll go Danish oil, tung oil, polyurethane in terms of how much it sinks into the wood versus how much resin buildup it has on it. And if I want to add a tint of color, like if the walnut pan, actually this whole coffee table is getting a walnut colored Danish oil, because walnut lightens up over time, and I want it to stay as rich and dark for as long as I can. So the theory is that by having a little bit of walnut tint in the finish, it'll keep that rich chocolatey goodness for a little while longer. And this finish is going to be a little bit less plasticky looking because I'm only going to do probably 4 coats of that. If I did 4 coats of polyurethane, you would like see the layer of plastic finish on the top of it. And then if I like the other path where I decide that I am okay refinishing the thing or don't care that it wears down, shop furniture, the sharpening station, for example, it just got Howard's feed and wax. If I ever need to refinish it, I'll just sand it off and buff a new coat in. But I am going to expect that it's going to... Isn't the answer to finish just Howard's? Yeah, it can be. It can be. Like, if you're okay refinishing everything as often as you need to, or you don't care that the finish wears off, oil and wax. I do have a can of Osmopolix that I was actually considering using on this coffee table. But then I thought, maybe don't try a finish for the first time that you've never used before on a really expensive commission piece that someone's paying you for. So I'm going with what I know on this one, and I'll try the Osmo on something else that somebody isn't paying me a lot of money for. Yeah, that is my decision matrix generally. And most of the time I come down on either a Danish oil or an oil wax after I decide which choice I'm making, whether I want to build a film or not build a film. I'll generally go, do I want to build a film? Okay, Danish oil. Because I'm comfortable with how it works. I like the way it looks. I can apply it relatively efficiently if I'm patient with it. That's the other thing. You have to be patient with finishing, which is not generally a strong suit of mine. Scott is at that point with the Osmo as well. Do you want to try it on something somebody's paying for? Danish tongue oil is my... Fidel says Danish tongue oil is my go-to with possibly a coat of wax on top. There you go. If you have a go-to, that's... use it. Why allow for refinishing on shop furniture? Because you don't have to, or you could. Like, I did the sharpening station in Howard's because if it wears off, maybe I don't bother to refinish it because it's shop furniture. Or maybe I want to have a couple of days where I don't have another project going on and I decide I want to take it and sand it up and refinish it. But I'm never going to do that if the finish wears off and I'm going to have to like get a stripper. I'm going to have to get a stripper in here. Gord says I coat all my shop stuff in oil-based poly, cut with naphtha, and it lasts forever. Yeah, that's a good idea. Go for the coat of armor as opposed to the refinish. Jesse's here too. Right on. Hey, we're at 21 people. I'm not even turning anything. Yeah, I mean the general idea for me is that do I want to go with the impenetrable armor that is penetrable? Or do I want to go with the leather armor that I can just fix? You know? But it's also kind of a matter of how patient I feel like being. Like the sharpening station, I kind of just wanted it to be done. By the time I got to the finishing stage, I was just like, get this out of my way. So I just rubbed a bunch of Howards on it and put it over there. My shop furniture gets a coat of whatever's left on the rag. There, see, that's a good system too. Just like, leave it unfinished. And then anytime you're finishing something, you just take the leftover on the rag or the brush or whatever, and you go over some of your shop stuff. That's probably what I'm going to do when I rebuild my table saw sled. I probably won't finish it, and I'll just like leave it sitting around, and whenever I'm done finishing something, I'll take the rag and buff some of whatever that is onto my table saw sled. Jesse, what do you got for a go-to finish? What tell me what you guys' go-to finishes are. I'm interested to see what other people go with. Gets finished with what I spill on it. There you go. That's an option as well. You just finish everything in beer. Yeah, I know that Shannon Rogers did that with his Rubo workbench. He didn't finish it with anything. He just wipes whatever's left over on the brush and the rag and whatever. Eventually, it gets finished. Jesse uses paste wax on table saw sled. I wax the underside of it so it slides nice. Whatever wants to finish it in. There you go. Everybody can finish however they want. Howard's for regular stuff and Clark's for charcuterie boards. Not familiar with Clark's. What's Clark's, Lily? Jesse likes Danish oil too. Danish oil is pretty much my go-to if I want any sort of film on top of the wood. Adam says paste wax, wipe on poly, butcher block oil, whatever I grab first. Whatever I grab first is a perfectly good answer too. And Sheldon says he just hates finishing. BJ says CA finish on most of his pens. I haven't gotten there yet. Armor seal, if I can handle yellowing, or general clear poly for anything else. Armor seal, yeah, it's I would say General Finishes Armor Seal is probably one of the most popular oil varnish blends on the market. And it's have I used it? I was gonna say I've never used it, but I may have. But yeah, General Finishes in general isn't readily available to me, so I'd have to order it. Your new shop is supposed to be delivered on Monday. You're having a shop delivered? You're gonna have to expand. How do you have a shop delivered? Like, are you getting all new machinery and it's getting dropped off in your driveway? Well, because that'd be fantastic. Just drop like 50 grand on a bunch of tools all at once. Is that what you're doing? Tell me that's what you're doing. Is it an inflatable shop? Is it like one of those kids' bouncy houses? Except it's got like an inflatable table saw in it. And oh. I need to know what the shop delivery is all about. Jesse, hook me up. I'm waiting with bated breath. So is everybody else, because I'm not going to talk about anything else until you expand on how you're getting a shop delivered. I hope it's a load of tools. Oh, it's a 12 by 24 building that you're turning into your shop. Oh. Are you done your kitchen yet? Didn't you send me a picture of your kitchen that was like, or maybe that was somebody else? Yeah, that's awesome. 12 by 24. That's about what I'm in. I think I'm in about 12 by, yeah, probably pretty close to a one-car garage, right? 12 by 24. Feels like that's about what I'm in. Just have them roll up and just roll it off the back of the truck and then load it full of tools. That's awesome. Power it up and boom. Finally be able to use your 24-inch drum sander. Shut up, Jesse. I want a drum sander. I need to borrow a buddy's drum sander for the guitar build next month. I'm going to have some resaws that I can't get thin enough in my planer, so I'm going to have to take them to a buddy's place, put them through his drum sander. Nice. Yeah, Sheldon's in a 12 by 24 attached. I want to say that's about, I haven't actually done the official measurement, but that feels like about what I'm in. One car garage. Where are you? I have one you can use. Scott Cunningham. If you are on the mid Vancouver Island area, I've got a buddy downtown with a essentially a commercial shop. He does timber frame houses and stuff. I need a buddy with a drum sander. Yeah, everybody needs a buddy with a drum sander. I've never hit him up for it yet, but I'm about to. The kitchen isn't done yet. Oh, sorry to hear that. That looked like a mess. But everything's got to become a mess before you can make it beautiful. If we ever end up busting walls and floors out, it's gonna look terrible. But it's all, as long as it's up here, you can keep your eyes on the prize. That's what's important. Oh, I gotta finish getting cleaned up and get these floor mats down. Hey, Wooden Things and Peeps, Mike Bennett's here. He's working on his shop tonight. Mike Bennett is. He's reupholstering his shop stool. And probably doing some other things. Like reorganizing his fancy new screwdriver and driver drill bit set that he got from somebody for Christmas. It's not the first kitchen you remodeled. Broke one of your fancy Meranti hooks? Oh, on your coat rack thing? Boo. Do I do home improvement DIY? I do some. I put flooring in, and I did the tile work in my upstairs bathroom and replaced the toilet, and I learned how to wire a plug this past summer when I installed my over the range microwave range hood thing. I replaced our dishwasher. I figure my way through it. I wouldn't call myself, like, I wouldn't contract myself out to do it for other people, but I can get through most things. I'm not great at drywall. I'm good at knocking holes in it and like putting anchors in and hanging things on it. I'm not good at patching drywall. And I don't think I've ever done any like trim carpentry, like windowsills or crown molding or anything like that. But I can find my way around the hardware store and watch things on YouTube and get stuff done. BJ, you love drywall? You can come to my house and fix my drywall when I have a problem then. You can fly in. We'll have beers. You can pay for the flight. I'll put you up on the couch. After COVID. So we're turning next week because I dragged the in-laws on a double date 2 weeks in a row, promising entertaining turning. Yes, we are turning next week. At the end of tonight's show, I'll give you guys a couple of things to pick from, and we'll turn next week. I've got a couple of new pieces from the store that might be interesting. I got a torrefied maple. What else did I get? I don't remember. We'll drag a couple pieces out for you guys to pick through. Let's all coordinate on picking the jerky item. I'm pretty sure that torrefied maple is going to be not fun. I think once you bake all of the everything in the wood, like torrefied maple is what Veritas makes their chisel handles out of. I don't think it's going to be fun to turn. But I've never turned it, so I bought it. Because that's how I roll. Multi-layered wood turn. Bennett, I swear to God. I know you keep telling me to do like a various part. It's coming up this year, but it's not going to be a live show. Like, I don't have the time. People aren't going to sit here for 6 hours and watch me make a blank and then turn it. I'll do a multi-wood turn at some point this. Yeah, pre-glue it. Yeah. Okay. Get your own channel. Am I going to try to do any segmented things? Yes, I am going to try to do segmented things. In fact, my shop resolutions video for this year, I think the first thing that I said for goals for the projects for this year was some kind of segmented turning. Patreon exclusive, that's what I'll do. I'll do it in Patreon exclusive. Multi-wood turning, and then you'll have to give me $3 to see it. That's what I'll do. Oh, speaking of that, I do want to do a quick shout out, thank you to my Patreon people, because they are fantastic, except for Pinnell. So Beckham Krasnicki, Tony Lopez, Paul Waldrop, Matt Sherburne, Chris Pinnell, and Amy Gersh, thank you very much for helping me out over on Patreon. And there have been a few others since I started the Patreon campaign that have come and left. And there's no hard feelings about that at all. It's essentially it's a tip jar type situation. I do put a few things up there. You guys get some advantages. I don't do as much as I want to do eventually over there, just because I don't have the time really. But yeah, there's a few perks, and there'll be some more perks coming, and I appreciate these people. Did you like that segue? Yeah, that was a heck of a segue. Appreciate you feeding that up to me there, Chris. Yeah, there'll be some stuff for those, exclusively for those people in the future. There's been one or two things, but mostly they just get extra votes on things, and we have conversations and stuff over there. What's the link for Patreon? It's patreon.com/woodenthingsandstuff. I think. I don't know. Chris, put it in the chat. Chris sometimes helps me out with things, even though I think he's paying in advance to be like, so that I don't get mad at him when he's a jerk, because he helps me out sometimes. I think it's just patreon.com/woodenthingsandstuff. And there's various levels over there, and anything that people do over there helps me out a whole lot. So I really do appreciate it. Eventually, I've never cashed out my Patreon money because I'm waiting for my Patreon money to build up enough that I can use it to buy a nice thing of some kind. And then I can say this right here is thanks to Patreon. I kind of want it to be, I want to pull it all out and buy a new plane or something and be like, this is my Patreon plane. This is what Patreon got for me or something. I think that'll be cool. So you're talking behind our backs? Yeah, all the time. You come up so often, Megan. Yeah, we did well, okay, to be fair, you don't come up all the time. Usually it's the Richardsons that come up over there. No more planes, you don't even use them? I absolutely do use them. I used 4 different planes on this coffee table that I'm working on right now, Mr. Guy. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, it's fun over there. There's not a lot, like I said, there's not a lot of action, but there are some conversations. And they do get bonus votes. If they wanted to, they could decide every week what I turn. The Facebook post can get 15, 20 votes, but those guys each get 5. So if they all decided that they wanted one thing and everybody everywhere else wanted something else, Patreon people would win. This is a fun show too. I like these ones where we just hang out. And then at the end of it, we're going to light up these pieces of walnut. I'm going to see if I can find a good place for you guys to watch these things light up from, because, man, I'm going to put some walnut tinted Danish oil on this walnut. It's awesome. And then I'm going to get out of here because the pirates are going to come. Oh, hangout shows are good, Ken. I agree. I like making stuff. I like accomplishing things. But once in a while, it's nice to just be able to chillax. Speaking of chillaxing, I need another beer. That's the downside of these shows. Well, maybe upside is that when my hands aren't busy doing other things, end up crushing beer. Had to put weird spaces in there to get it to post. Oh, what did you post? The link for Patreon? Oh, you know what? Because I don't think YouTube really likes it. They really like links in the YouTube chats. No, I didn't see it. Yeah, exactly, BJ. Downside? Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. It's fine. I don't have anywhere to go after this. And honestly, I'm not gonna get a dozen deep before I finish these panels, but I probably could. Like Danish oil, especially like the initial flood coat of Danish oil, it's hard to screw up. Did I ever find longer carbides? I have found them. I haven't bought them yet. Maybe that's what I'll do with my Patreon money. I'll order a set of the full-size Easywood tools. That'd be awesome. But no, I have not yet invested. Oh, Jesse, that's fantastic. I really appreciate that. I'm also like terrible at marketing stuff. Like, you know, like most YouTube people are all like every video they're doing like hey, support me on Patreon and buy stuff at my Etsy store and all this. And I'm just terrible at that. Like once in a while I'll remember that like that's a thing you should do. And I'll throw it in. But I'm not. Listen, I didn't get into the making videos on YouTube thing to try and like make money off of it. So when I started making money off of it, it was kind of like, what is happening now? We'll market it for you. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's only a couple bucks, but I support a couple of people on Patreon. But it's like at the same time, I don't expect, like, I'm not going to change anything that I'm doing because people are or aren't financially chipping in. It's like, if I was trying to do this for a living, like if I was trying to make this a full-time gig, I would be a lot more heavy-handed about like, hey, you guys need to start paying me money. But that's not what I like making money off doing this, but it's still kind of weird to me that I do. Especially with like the ad set, like YouTube advertising money. Man, I cannot figure out how that stuff works at all. Because like my views will be like, I'll get like 25,000 views in a month and like a couple thousand hours of watch time, and I'll make like, I'm not allowed to say without breaking the rules. Like in let's do a hypothetical situation. Let's say it's like $60 or something one month. And then the next month I'll have like fewer views and fewer hours of watch time, and it'll be $80. And I'm like, I have no idea. Like, how am I supposed to use this information to like I'm doing this absolutely for fun. I love now that I've especially now it's even more fun now than it was like a year ago, because now I have like these fun like interactive things. I'm building a community of people that we all sort of are starting to get to know each other and our quirks and stuff. It's like, yeah, this is fun for me. And even the weekly, like, pre-recorded videos that I do, the weekly-ish videos that I do, it's just me making stuff or talking about stuff that I'm doing in the shop. Like, and I have fun doing it. So you don't like watching some guy half-ass his way through his woodworking journey, trying to get better and bringing you along. You should probably watch somebody else. No, that's not fair. I don't half-ass my way through it. I three-quarter ass my way through it. Sometimes I try really hard, and it looks like I'm half-assing because I don't know what I'm doing. That's not true. I like to think that if I don't know what I'm doing, I've seen somebody who does know what they're doing do it, and I can try what he did. Or she. I'm never going to be Ashley Harwood, though. Don't ever expect that I'm going to be Ashley Harwood. Why would you expect that I'm going to be Ashley Harwood? That's a super weird thing to say. This tonight went in a weird direction. At least we're not talking about gas station food. I appreciate that, Megan. Probably the reason we like you is because you aren't like that. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't understand the Patreon thing. Won't let me log into the app on my phone. I wish I could help you, but I barely understand the Patreon thing as it does. That was good too, Megan. You're right. The gas station food conversation was also fun. I don't know how to do the Patreon thing. I've always, especially from my phone, I think I've always done it from a desktop. Yeah, Lily, you're right. You only said that, but you were the one that came up with the gas station conversation, and we appreciated it. It was fun. I'm still wavering on it though, because I do like that Wonder Bar. Beef jerky's expensive, but you said somebody else is paying, so let's start a YouTube channel where I burn all the crap projects I mess up. Nothing will be finished, just burned. That's awesome. Don't want to even look at the coat rack. I think people would watch you get almost all the way through projects and then just throw them in the fire pit because you screwed it up. I do think that, yeah. What is the guitar I am going to build? I am going to build a double humbucker, 24 3/4 inch scale, 3-way switch, 2-tone, 2-volume, solid body electric guitar. It's a Les Paul with a more of a Telecaster style body, but with a carve. Yeah, it's all up here. But it's a solid body electric. And it starts as soon as this coffee table is out of my shop. Well, as long as it's after the 1st of February, because that's when the global luthiery competition starts that I'm entering my first guitar in, because I make terrible decisions. Yeah, from scratch. I got a 8/4 piece of sapele up there that I'm going to pull down, and I've got a 12/4 piece or a 4/4 piece of maple over there or cherry over there that I'm going to pull down, and I'm going to draw it out on a piece of MDF. I'm going to start cutting wood. And I'm going to enter the Great Guitar Build-Off 2021 because I'm terrible at making decisions. Scott Cunningham has built 8 kit guitars and wants to build one from scratch. You know what you should probably not do is decide to build your first guitar from scratch for the Great Guitar Build Off 2021. Unless you would like to come along and do that with me, because we could do it. We could both do one. Yeah, that's a good question. What kits were you building from? Like just cheap Amazon kits, or like from actual guitar places? Like Crimson Guitars makes some pretty nice looking kits. I thought about doing that once, and then I just decided that I'd rather just make my own guitar, even if it doesn't work out. I think I would rather just build one. Yeah, Megan, the guitar build starts February 1st. I mean, I don't have to start it on February 1st, because I think February 1st is the middle of the week. I'll probably start it the weekend after February 1st. BJ built a carving kit and loved it. I don't know what that is. What's a carving kit? I believe I have until the end of May, Megan, to build the guitar. Carvin Keisel. Okay, Carvin. Okay, later, Mike. Oh, Carvin Guitars? I don't know why I didn't recognize that name right away. It's from California. Pretty sure. Didn't he fold? I thought Carvin folded. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. He's like a one dude shop. Carvin Guitars? I thought that was him. Yeah, California company. It's just like one dude in his garage, right? I think I might have watched his YouTube channel on building guitars for a little bit. Had some good tutorials on like scale length and stuff. I don't remember his name though. He was kind of an asshole. Carvin went audio and Keisel went guitar. Okay, I must be thinking about somebody else. My bad. I did a telly solid body and planed it down to an 1/8. Put a bird's eye maple top on it. Hey, bird's eye maple top would be cool. I'm gonna go with cherry top, somewhere between an 1/8 and a 1/4 inch thick, on an 1.5 inch sapele, sort of a almost Telecaster style, a little bit more rounded in the back and slopey. And then I'm going to carve away some areas of the top so that the sapele comes through in different amounts around the outside of the cherry. Hey, let me see if I have it. Hold on. I was doing some sketching. I was out here doing some sketching one night. Last week. Maybe the week before. Trying to find a headstock shape that I liked. And it's kind of looking like that at this point is the general concept. With one of these headstocks. I haven't decided which one. But that's the cherry top with the sapele coming through on the outside. Hey, Paul's here. Paul's makes guitars too. I am absolutely going to do a build series on it. It'll be I think it'll be a 6-part build series. But I haven't decided whether I'm going to put the series out as I'm going along, or whether I'm going to wait until it's done and then put it all out like sort of weekly. It does a little. It does look like a little bit like a Godin body. You're right, with the extra rounded horn on the front. It's the idea. I like the concept of this slope coming back to this bit here, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen up in here, but I like having a little bit of a cutaway down here for your arm, right? I don't know. We'll see. I was just messing around out here one night and kind of like sketching it and erasing it and sketching it and erasing it. And I found some lines that I don't hate. So that's the general idea. 24 3/4, Paul. Think, right? That's like a Gibson standard scale length, right? I think so. The Fender's 25 1/4. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up. Yeah, it's the guitar discussion. Hey, Paul sent me a wiring diagram for this guitar. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's essentially, the idea is that it's essentially a Les Paul, but it's like my spin, my artistic take on a Les Paul, I guess, because everything else is pretty standard Les Paul, double humbucker, 3-way switch, 4 pots, 24 3/4. I mean, it's pretty standard Les Paul, like technical specs. Did you see the green one that was wired as a Les Paul? I don't know. Maybe. I gotta admit, I went over to your Facebook and I started scrolling, and I was like, "Wow, he likes Telecasters," and I haven't gone back. But I would be interested in seeing some more things. Am I gonna recess the knobs? I'm not planning on recessing the knobs. It's more of a PRS thing. Paul's Facebook page is Waldrop Guitars, I think. The PRS recess does look really cool. I'm not saying it doesn't look really cool, but I'm gonna try and finish a guitar. Like, I think I'm already going a little bit overboard. Like, I'm being a little bit ambitious already. So recessing the knobs, I think, is one step further than I need to go on the first build, considering that, like, I don't even know how to wire a guitar. Like, I don't know how to solder. Let's work on making a guitar, and then maybe future ones I can go like, hey, it'd be cool to recess the knobs, go all out or go home. I don't know. I think I'm already as out as I want to go with the concept on this one. Respect your limits. See, Megan knows respect your limits. Well, I mean, we'll see. Maybe it goes so well and so smoothly that I look at it and go, I want to recess those knobs. I don't know. I'm not going to plan for recess knobs. How's that? Messed up 5 necks before you got the first one right. This is exactly what I want to hear, Paul. I want to hear that it's perfect. It's super easy. Like, there's no problem at all. Even though I know that it's not super easy, but I don't think it's, I don't want to say it out loud. I don't think it's actually going to be that big an endeavor if I'm just careful. Super easy, no problem at all. All right, there you go. After 10 years, there you go. Yeah. No, I like, we'll just go for the ride. You know, I'm going to enter a stupid contest. I'm going to enter a global luthiery contest. And I'm going to make a guitar. Maybe. I'm going to enter a global luthiery contest. And now I'm going to try to make a guitar. And if I don't end up making a guitar, then it is what it is. I am, in fact, Paul. I'm joining the Great Guitar Build-Off 2021. Because literally the day after I posted my New Year's resolutions for the shop video that said I was going to build a guitar this year, I saw Ben talking about the Great Guitar Build-Off. And I'm like, well, there you go. I guess I'm going to build it earlier in the year instead of later. Because why not? It's like, I think it's, what's 25 British pounds? Is it like $40 or something? Costs you $40 to enter it. And then you make a guitar, and all the proceeds go to like underprivileged kids and stuff that want to learn how to make guitars. Like it's a no-lose situation. What am I using for the neck? I am going to make a 5-piece laminated neck with sapele and cherry and a truss rod and a Panama rosewood fretboard. And glue. Yeah, quarter sawn cherry with strips of sapele running through it. And then a sapele cherry body. Chrome hardware. It's all up here. It's gonna be fun. I mean, like, even if it doesn't end up working out, it's gonna be fun. No unnecessary walnut on this one. I think if this one is successful, I might make an all walnut guitar. Just because I think I need to have one of those. Just like a walnut base with walnut. Yeah, Chris, we have talked about you wanting to build a base. I wouldn't mind building a base. I do have, because it's a little known secret that one of the reasons I actually initially got into woodworking was because I wanted to build a guitar. And so when I started getting into woodworking, I started buying like guitar parts. So I have boxes of like control knobs and tuning pegs and stuff in the house. It will either be interesting or so stressful that your family disowns you. I don't think, if this really expensive coffee table for money wasn't stressful enough for my family to disown me, I don't think making a guitar for fun is going to be that bad. Built 2 bases out of black walnut. Oh, guy bought me raw lumber and did 2 bases and a telly. Nice. Where do I get my wood from? The lumber store, Windsor plywood, generally. Where do I buy guitar bass parts? I bought some from Amazon. I buy them whenever I see them. I buy from trees. Get my wood from trees. I bought, like, if I go on Facebook Marketplace and look up musical instruments, there's always random parts that some people are selling, either pickups or tuners or whatever. Craigslist is a great place to look under musical instruments. Insert your region. There's always somebody on there that's selling some pickups or some tuning pegs or a bridge. The pickups that I'm putting in this guitar that I'm going to be building are from like a mid-90s Jackson that just came up on Facebook Marketplace. Because I didn't want to spend $200 on Seymour Duncan's. And I was like, oh, $50? Sure, okay. I have a few different guys here other than big box stores. That's why I asked. Yeah, I don't buy wood from the big box store unless you're building a wall or an addition. No, it's not dry enough, first of all. You can't use it for anything other than a wall for like 8 months. New parts are expensive. I look at them and I look at a used bass guitar on Marketplace and it's the same price or cheaper. There you go. I did that. I bought like 3 guitars, like actual guitars, just for the sole purpose of eventually harvesting their parts off of them. Get my pickups from Pribora from Russia. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I've got all kinds of random pickups laying around in a box. A bunch of crappy Amazon ones and some. I went to a local like music gear swap and somebody had a box full of them, and these ones were labeled like 97 Squire Telecaster. And I was like, sure, for $20, whatever. Oh, Mr. Fancy Pants, hand wound with your specifications. Look at you. That's why you have Waldrop guitars, and I have Mike's Wooden Things and stuff. No, that's cool. I would love to have a guy that would like hand wind pickups for me. It's a side job. Yeah, well, there are no rich luthiers. I don't know, Ben Crow seems to be doing pretty okay. But yeah, he's got a factory. But he didn't always. I mean, he built up Crimson Guitars from his shed in his backyard. So, I mean, it can be done. Why aren't you guys continuously scrolling? He does sell and make tools as well, but I think he probably would have been okay just doing guitars, honestly. Especially like once he got a decent following on YouTube, because he can use it as his marketing platform and stuff. All right, you guys figure we should finish these walnuts, these panels? I think we're about that point. An hour 12 in. Take us 20 minutes to flood a coat of finish on these guys. Afraid to go too cheap on my parts and spend all that time building a crappy sounding instrument. Also afraid to spend too much and could just buy a bass from the store. Yeah, well, see, the cool thing is that if you build the guitar to fit pieces of hardware that are standard size, you can just buy better hardware to put in there, right? Like if it fits a humbucker pickup or whatever, and you make it play, but you don't like the sound of it, you just go spend some more money on a better pickup. All right. Night, Sheldon. I'm gonna finish these walnut panels. You don't want to stick around? Is that a decent angle for you guys? Or do you want to be closer? Yeah, have fun fighting with the CNC, buddy. Get it figured out or get it sent back, my man. How many hours to build a guitar? I don't know. All right, you catch it on replay. Oh, Scott says closer. I don't know, man. Let's see. Try the table saw. That's not any closer, really. Maybe, hold on. Get some of these finishes out of the way and I'll put you on the table saw. Ooh. Oh, there. Look at that. You found my cookies? All right. That's a pretty good spot. I need a head kit. Yeah, that'd be cool. I can put you guys on my head. But then when I start looking around, you get sick. Yeah, that's a pretty good shot, actually, of the walnut. Yeah. All right. Whoa. So I have these sanded just so you guys know what's going on with the technical things. These are sanded to 240, and then I have raised the grain on them real quick, and then sanded them again real quick with 240, and then wiped them off with the tack cloth. A fresh tack cloth straight out of the bag. And now we are doing a flood coat of Watco medium walnut tinted Danish oil. Oh, geez. Oh, I gotta get around the other side. Oh, my chair's in the way now. So when I'm putting on a flood coat, I'm basically just giving it as much as it'll take without pooling. So I want to get, it's going to suck it in really fast for the first little while. I'm not that worried. Like, for example, I don't care about streaking or anything like that because it's just going to absorb, and I'm going to sand the first coat back after it's cured. But maybe you can see how quickly it's soaking it in. And so once it's soaking it in, I want to get some more on it. Basically, I want to keep it wet until it stops soaking it in as soon as it's going on. Like, you can see the dry spots. Just want to keep it wet for the first coat. It's still soaking it in as fast as I can put it on. Once it stops soaking it in as fast as I can put it on, I know it's essentially sealed. Oh, oh. There's that one. There's that one. Woo! That. Let's put you guys over here for this one. Probably still gonna keep hitting that one a little bit. And then once this cures, I'm not fully cures, it takes a few days to fully cure, but once it's dry to the touch, I'll do another coat on this side, let it dry. Probably two more actually coats on this side. Drying between coats, sanding with 600 or 800 grit sandpaper really lightly between coats just to get rid of any dust nubs that have settled into it. And then I'll flip it over and do another coat on the bottom. Same thing, sand to just a quick scuff sand with 600 or 800 grit wet dry, sort of automotive style sandpaper in between coats, and let the resin build up. Beautiful thing about Danish oil is that it soaks in nice and deep and creates a richness to the wood, but it also builds a protective layer on top. So it comes back to that point that I was making earlier about film finish versus in the wood finish. This is getting sucked in, and I could stop. Like if I didn't want a film finish, I could just do this flood coat of Danish oil, sand it back, and buff some wax onto it or something and be done. But I want to keep giving this as much as it'll take right now. And like I said, I'm not worried about going with the grain or making streaks or anything like that, because that'll all get evened out in subsequent coats. Oh, that's gorgeous. This stuff's taking it pretty deep. Look at this ridiculousness. You guys see? Where are you? What's going on in here? There's almost like flaming happening in here. That's nuts. And it's almost done taking it as fast as I can put it on. Oh, oh, it's still taking it in. Might actually have to get a little bit more. Thought I gave myself lots, but you never know how thirsty it is. I think that'll do it. That's a pretty nice flood coat. Whew. Yep. All right. Okay. Nice. Oh, never gets old. Never gets old. Whew. There are the walnut panels for the coffee table. Whew. Oh, that's good stuff. That is good stuff. The contrast in the base is going to be nice. I mean, the base has walnut cross supports that float the top and the bottom panel. But the Nara is going to be sort of like, if this is the dark chocolate, the Nara will be the milk chocolate. So I think when you put those panels into this base, I'm thinking it's going to be a pretty attractive piece of furniture. The base is not, well, it'll do the same thing that the panels did. It'll darken up and richen up, but it won't be walnut colored. It'll be sort of more of a milk chocolate. The walnut tinted Danish oil, yes, I bought it. It is, I think it's the medium you can get. It's medium tinted walnut. I'm hoping that it'll keep the dark, rich chocolatiness of the walnut for a little bit longer. And theoretically, it'll bring the Nara a little bit closer to the walnut in terms of its color. So they'll still be defined and clearly different, but a little bit more homogeneous. I had to step away. Please sand off and redo. That's funny. Yeah, I'll get right on that. The pirates are getting close. That's true. Yeah, so that's the flood coat. I'll leave that on there for certainly overnight. Probably, that's a lot of oil on there now, so I probably won't touch this again until tomorrow night. Maybe I'll leave it until Monday. I might not touch it at all and just let it cure right through until Monday. And then like I said, I'll scuff it with 600 or 800 grit sandpaper, just really quick on a nice light sanding block, or not even, just with my hand, just to get rid of the nubs. And I'll do another coat. Next coat will be super thin, super fast. I'll leave that overnight to cure and harden up. Do that again, probably one more time on the top. And then I'll flip it over, do 2 more on the bottom. And then I'll flip it back over and do one perfect one on the top. And that'll be 4 on the top and 3 on the bottom is the plan. Hey, Beckham's here. Good work, man. You made it right at the end. You missed these walnut panels turning into these beautiful things. Ooh. Well, you didn't miss them turning into that. They were already that, but I brought out that in them. Yeah, man, I'm pretty happy with them. Especially like this guy over here. Like, it's not showing up on the video, I don't think, but like this whole side of this one is all like flamed, which is nuts. So that's pretty cool. And now I'm probably going to sign off so that the pirates don't get me. Unless there are any like last minute finishing questions that I can address. Really busy at work, man. I understand. I'm not holding you to it. There was this whole thing. It's going to be up. You can go back to the beginning and watch it from the start if you want. Next week, good call, Megan. Let's have a look. Let's move the floor pads that I still have to get down. This piece of pine. All right, here we go. Torrified maple. No idea, but it's relatively heavy, and it's probably going to be a pain in the you know what. Let's go with the maple burl with the big bark inclusion thing that may or may not even hold together. And acacia. Those will be the options for next week. The acacia, the maple burl with the bark problem, and the torrefied maple that they make like plain totes and chisel handles out of because it's super hard and durable. All right. Lily wants acacia, torrefied maple, maple burl. Chris says, because Chris is doing the jerk thing because he wants the one that is going to explode. Megan says torrefied. King B says Paduke again. Scott says burl. Got acacia. Okay, it's pretty even spread so far. That'll be the post that goes up Thursday-ish over on Facebook and Patreon. And I will let you guys pick which one do I want to do. I don't mind. I have fun with whatever. I think the maple burl is going to be the most interesting if I can pull it off. But I think the acacia is the one that's going to be the easiest because I've actually turned acacia before and I know how it's going to cut, and it's consistent and lovely. So depends how I feel that night. If right now, if you ask me what I want to turn next week right now, I'm going to say the acacia because it's super easy. Well, relatively speaking, it'll be the easiest. But maybe I have an awesome week and I want to try something difficult. So I don't know. I'll let you guys pick. Same way I always do. Give you three choices. You pick which one, and I either make it happen or fail. That's how this goes. But this is certainly not a failure. This coffee table is going to be it's going to be a pretty damn nice coffee table. This is the second coffee table I've made in this design. And my coffee table, the first one that I made of these, was supposed to be walnut. The idea of when I designed it was that it would be walnut. But then the African mahogany that I ended up buying was cheaper and looked nicer than the walnut that was available to me at the time. So I made it out of African mahogany, and I'm super happy with it. I love it. It lives in my living room. But it's nice to see what this is going to look like in maple or in walnut and Nara. Because, yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. For now, I am going to bid you adieu, as they say in France. They probably say that, maybe. I don't know. That's right. Don't forget to sign up for Patreon to get more votes. I'm terrible. Oh, and click the like button and the subscribe and click the bell. See all the things that you're supposed to say when you're on YouTube. The buttons that are down there. And then there's a thing up here and up here. And oh, you'll never believe what happens next. Or whatever. I don't know. I'm not good at YouTube. But sometimes I make nice things. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. See you next time. Go make something in your shop this week. Oh, I will absolutely. I'll send you an email, Paul. And if you want to send me guitar parts, you can absolutely send me guitar parts. Yeah, go back to the beginning, Becca. It was fun all the way through. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.